Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move today. With us is Bloomberg News cross-asset reporter Emily Griffeo. Let's start with a big tech company.
Exactly. Okay, Google, Alphabet's subsidiary. I was going to say the parent company, but
I think it's
the parent.
Alphabet is the parent. I was supposed to say Alphabet first.
I still
Alphabet's the
call it
parent.
Google.
We all call
What's
it
the ticker?
Google. The ticker is Google.
Yeah,
G-O-O.
okay. There we
The
go.
parent is
GL.
Alphabet.
The parent is Alphabet.
So, you know. Just
It's it hit a record intraday high, guys.
Yes.
And this is all on Warren Buffett's.
Mom and Dad, you figure it out. And I'm going to go ahead and do stocks on the move.
Berkshire Hathaway disclosing a stake in the company. This is a big deal for a company.
I feel like this slid under the radar a little bit.
I know, because this
is it over the weekend or something? Like it felt like it came to light?
Yeah, and this is the first time that there's a stake in this company from Buffett.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though you're, a mega cap tech company, there's still some excitement here when the Oracle of Omaha is buying your stock.
Totally.
So he acquired 17.9 million shares of Google parent Alphabet during the third quarter, and then trimmed Bank of America and Apple holdings. So now Berkshire's Alphabet stake is about 0.31% of the outstanding shares. A couple people on Wall Street said this is good for Google. It's bringing investors confidence that this is a company that's spending a lot. And then you have this investor who's very cash conscious and loves, loves a good bargain. And like he's approving of what Google is doing and their CapEx. So
Alphabet is up 50% this year.
Paul Sweeney had a really interesting take on Bloomberg Intelligence. He said a lot of this is about what he sees as a changing of the guard at Berkshire Hathaway, because it was such a big deal when Warren Buffett bought into Apple,
I was just thinking
so many
about
years
that, right?
ago, because it was like, oh, well, he's finally buying into tech and moving away from some of the quote unquote value investing that he's famous for.
And with this news on Alphabet, right, he's been paring back even more his exposure to Apple.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but you're right. Like this was not an area he used to play, but it does remind of the people that are taking the baton, if you will.
Yeah, CFRA said, we think Berkshire likely finds more comfort investing in Google over other tech plays, given the high free cash flow potential of its core business, coupled with an attractive valuation.
Okay, so in terms of the way things are moving, that's one end of the S&P 500. The other end of the S&P 500, what's going on with Dell?
Yeah, so a hardware name here, Dell Technologies, ticker DELL. It's the worst performer in the S&P 500 today with a Morgan Stanley downgrade. So the bank cut Dell from an overweight to an underweight, which is quite rare. We call that a two-step downgrade. It wasn't just overweight to hold. It was all the way down to underweight. They cut a couple other hardware names, basically saying that a memory super cycle increasingly poses a risk to earnings of hardware, original equipment, and design manufacturers. So they also cut ratings on HP and Pegatron to underweight as well. Again, it's, this year, the trade really in tech has been dominated by AI, software, hardware, not so much here, especially with, what Morgan Stanley is saying today.
Yeah, that's an interesting call. Yeah, and definitely under pressure. StubHub.
Okay, so StubHub, shares tumbling as much as, let me get the intraday move right now, but the stock is down right now about 15%. Falling to a record intraday low. Yeah. And this is after their first quarterly report after going public in September. This is the ticketing platform. They didn't provide a forecast for the current quarter. And Wall Street is not happy with this. If you look at what Evercore ISI said, they said, despite the fact that we're over halfway through the quarter, they're surprised the company didn't provide a guidance. And the lack of that outlook arguably drove half of the stock sell-off right now. Again, that stock down 15% too.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.